Welcome to my first Q&A. I emailed you asking if you had any questions you wanted me to answer. These are those questions being answered. If you're not already part of the email list and you want to be part of that community, I will leave a link below on how you can sign up. Start off with a few different questions here from Herman Hoover. What are you most proud of in your musical life? When can we expect new music? And what are the names of your band members? I think the thing I'm most proud of in my musical life is never giving up. Never giving up on myself and my dreams, no matter how hard it got. I'm really proud of the fact that I have never let go of that little girl inside of me. I'm also really proud of where I am developmentally. I feel like I've matured a lot since I started my music career. Second question was, when can we expect new music? Hopefully very, very soon. I would like to have something new to you by August. Okay, who are my band members? Guitarist is Mr. John Edward Ross. Drummer is Billy McQueen. I'll leave all their info in the description so you can find them. Bass, so bass could be two people. Reef the Rabbit, Arthur Atkins. Question from my uncle, actually. I want to know if you've considered doing more of the holiday themed covers. I have considered it. It's a bit of a balance. Sometimes when I spend time on covers, I feel a little guilty towards my original music. Next question from Lene. Lene! I need to play a show in Pennsylvania just so I can see you. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure you're in Pennsylvania. Do you play any instruments? Have you had formal training? How do you stay so fit? What's your guilty pleasure? How is Hank and how is your mom and your sister? Do I play any instruments? The short answer, no. I kind of do. Back in the day, I taught myself a decent amount of piano, but the form is not there. So honestly, now it's like teaching an old dog new tricks. I kind of ruined myself for the piano. I won't play piano in front of anyone that plays piano seriously because I don't feel like embarrassing myself. But again, I don't have any background or education on music theory or anything like that. So I would need to practice first or be told what am I playing. I am not someone that can just hear people playing and oh, I know what key we're in. No, I envy people like that. I wish I could be that. I hope to be that one day. I do hope to continue to educate myself in music theory and ear training and get to a point where I can do that. But I can muscle my way through some instruments. Piano being the one I'm, I guess, the most comfortable on, piano, keyboard. I dabbled around with guitar for a while. Bass is a thing that I have been wanting to learn for a long time. Honestly, ever since I saw Thundercat live for the first time, I was like, I want to do that. I want to shred a 6-string bass. Yeah, Thundercat has inspired me to pick up the bass, and I put in a little time messing around learning to play bass for a few of my songs. Okay, have you had any formal training? When I was around 19 or 20, I took opera lessons for a few months. I didn't even intend to take opera lessons. I just wanted to take vocal lessons, and I didn't realize that this teacher, her specialty was opera, because I was up in there singing Latin. Okay, how do you stay so fit? Well, I'm sure 90% of that is genetics. I do not diet. What I do is I have had blood work done with my primary physician to see what we could decipher from that as it relates to nutrition. Guilty pleasure, sugar. I have such a sweet tooth. I can't help myself. How is Hank? Hank is wonderful. Hanky, the people are requesting you. Did I wake you up from your nap? I'm so sorry. He was sweeping, but he's doing good. He's getting older. He'll be turning 11 this year. But we do yearly senior checkups at his vet. You know, Chihuahuas are supposed to live until 25, so if you don't live until 25, we're gonna have a problem. You hear me? Hey, listen. I would die for you. How are my mom and my sister? Mom and sister are doing great. So is my dad. Next question from my mom. When will you release tour dates in the US? This one's hard because I want to. I want to so badly. If I had the power to, I would do that today. But it's expensive, and if I don't time it right and I don't get the turnout that we need to have to break even at each venue, it will put me in the hole for longer than I'm comfortable with, which inevitably would affect how frequently I'm able to release music after that. I want to first do a Texas tour, and then I would like to do a United States tour. I've been trying to brainstorm some ways that I can get to my audience that's not in the United States, and I'm not really sure what that looks like yet, because I cannot afford to fly a full band and band equipment to, Germany, Japan, the Netherlands, UK. How would you feel about just like an acoustic open mic type thing? Let me know. Okay, can you do another virtual concert for your non-US listeners? From Dave. Yeah, actually, I would love to consider doing that. We did live at Bill's a couple of years ago, and I felt like you guys really liked it. It is quite the production to put on, but I would definitely be down if you're interested in me hosting a virtual concert that you can attend. Post a comment on this YouTube video and let me know what time zone you're in too, please, because another part of what makes that hard to coordinate is time zone. Drop a comment, let me know. Next question from Bill Warner. Hi, Bill. By the way, if you guys don't know, Bill is such a gem in our city, one of the biggest supporters of local music. He recently posted a cover of the song Blood on Me by Sampha. You described in the comments the artist's and your own struggles with anxiety, which you say can be somewhat severe. It's hard to imagine that the Raycheal Winters we see publicly, so confidently owning the stage, fronting such an amazing band with such a positive and uplifting social media presence, has ever had a moment of anxiety or depression. Can you tell us more about your struggles with these issues? Do you ever feel that you actually overcome them? Firstly, thank you so much. That is so sweet to read. It's crazy, like sometimes I look at my YouTube channel and I don't even feel like that's me. Like, who is that? That's some other person that had the confidence to do all these things. Get ready to watch Raycheal not directly answer the question at all and go down a rabbit hole, because my mind is just a bunch of marbles that have spilled. I was in such a serious mood this day. I stay making things deeper than they need to be. Okay, let me see what the question is. Can you tell us more about your struggles? Do you ever feel that you actually overcome them? You learn how to manage them. Through many years of therapy, I have developed a lot of tools that help me with those things. So number one, I'm a recovering people pleaser. So I have a lot of anxiety around that. I'm someone that catastrophizes a lot, but I've worked really hard to rephrase language in my brain and to stop when I'm doing something really cool and look around me and be like, dude, I get to do this. If you're someone that struggles with a lot of anxiety, you should look into fear setting. If you've been following me long enough, you probably remember the days where I used to wear the white wig before I actually bleached my hair again. I do feel like I created somewhat of a persona through that Raycheal that was wearing the wig, the white disco pants, and the go-go boots. Because at the time, this was back in 2020, I really wanted to pursue a music career, but I struggled a lot with the anxiety, with the self-doubt, the imposter syndrome. I didn't know if I had the confidence to do it, and I didn't feel like I deserved a music career and a platform. I struggle with wanting to make sure I'm always being the best person I can for the people around me. Because honestly, the concept of anyone looking to me for guidance or myself being influential, those are things, those concepts were really hard for me to grasp, because I was like, I don't have that power, and who am I? You know what I mean? But it's something that I learned after talking to so many artists, listeners, and audience members. I finally was like, I don't get to say that nobody's looking to me for guidance. I don't get to say that, what I say doesn't matter, because the people that have built my career are telling me that's not true. And so I finally accepted it, and I want to earn that. I want to deserve it. Dude, the human experience can be so hurtful and alienating and embarrassing, and for some reason we don't want to talk about it. And I'm just like, let's talk about it, dude, because we're just enabling all these things that make us feel terrible if we don't talk about it. So I don't want anyone to ever feel embarrassed for being a human and having human experiences and having human emotions. Hindsight is 20/20, dude, but life is designed for you to learn from yourself, Anyway, okay. Not me throwing up I just went on a tangent, and I'm sorry, and let me stop myself here before it gets worse hand. Next question from Alicia. Hey, Alicia. Do you prefer Scooby-Doo 1 or Scooby-Doo 2? The live action movies. There's only one right answer. You're right, and it's number 1. I mean, they're both great. It's so funny that you asked me that, because I literally just watched both of them back to back last week, a couple weeks ago. Next question from Javier D. What is one thing besides music that you want to do? So much. Okay, but it can't relate to music. I would actually love to foster one day and consider adopting. That's way down the line. I gotta get these royalties coming in, baby. I want to travel to Japan. I want to go to Japan so bad to see the Studio Ghibli museums. They just built a huge Studio Ghibli theme park that's on 15 acres. And there's a real life Kiki's delivery service bakery where you can buy bread. What do you mean? You know what? I'm gonna read you my bucket list. Okay. It's been a while since I've looked at this. I want to donate blood. I want to go skydiving with my dad, hug a swan, meet a sloth, attend a high-speed float festival in Japan, crowd surf at somebody else's concert, crowd surf at my own concert, visit Nora Deer Park in Japan. A lot of Japan stuff. I want to hug a cow. I've never done that. I want to hug a cow. Cows are my favorite animals. I want to help solve a cold case. I'm a big true crime fan. I mean, fan is a weird way to put it, but I like being part of the community because we learn a lot from each other and we talk about a lot of things that I think are important for not only human safety, but women's safety. And because of the true crime community, cold cases have actually been solved. The public is so much more capable than I think they are given credit for. There are so many people that just on their free time are incredible detectives, and I would like to assist in solving a cold case one day. That would mean a lot to me. Japan again. I want to live in Japan for 3 months and produce an EP with a producer there. I want to visit British Columbia, Iceland. What is this? I want to do a death drop on stage. The note says, drag queens do it, and it looks so cool. I don't remember what a death drop is. I'll have to look it up, but apparently I felt strongly enough about it to put it on my bucket list. I want to visit a hat shop, like a legit, just a hat shop that is just for hats. I want to learn how to play the bass, go to a monster truck rally, meet somebody that's named Gertrude, because I have theories on what they look like, and I just want to see if I'm right. I want to visit an Amish community. That seems very interesting to me. Visit an indigenous reservation, learn Spanish, learn Japanese. Yeah. Next question from my father. What is your favorite thing to do when you're not working? I like being out in nature. Other than that, really just like spending time with my family. I like playing video games with my sister. We played Yoshi's Island day before yesterday, and I hadn't played Yoshi's Island since I was like 10 or something like that. I used to tear up some Yoshi's Island, okay, and some Super Mario. I like making my mom laugh. Dude, I could start a whole comedy career with just her support. Like, she thinks I'm so funny. I mean, like, to the point that she's literally like wheezing, like her, and then like her laugh will set off my laugh, which then sets off my sister's laugh, which then sets my mom off again. Like going to the range with my father. I like walking around the city. I don't do it very often, but I like walking around the city. I want to take the tram more and just kind of like go around. I like driving around and looking at houses. I do that a lot, especially now the area of town I'm in. I'm next to like some mansions, which is like not what my apartment is at all. You know, the way that things are zoned in Houston, I'm next to like these huge multi-million-dollar mansions. So I love to like drive around and look at the mansions and like think about in this world that will never exist. Like if I ever had the money, what would I put in my mansion? Or I like to, drive around and like judge like their color of brick choice. Looking at like this $36 million mansion, but I'm like, I wouldn't have gone with red brick though. Would love to have a garden. Next question also from Bill Warner. You're such an amazing performer and your live shows are a blast. Did being on stage come naturally for you? I've heard some artists say that the version of them we see on stage is somewhat of a persona, while others say that being on stage is the only place they truly feel at home. Do either of these apply to you? That's a great question. Both actually apply to me. I do feel very at home on a stage, but that extroverted, very outward version of me that you're seeing is not the full story. I am actually pretty introverted. I mean, I'm very extroverted as well. Parts of me are, but like I already know that I'm this way, and I've also been told I'm this way. I'm very awkward to talk to in person sometimes. I do weird, awkward things, and then I'll like say things, and I'm like, oh my God, Raycheal, why did you just say that? Why did you just say that? And then I'll think about it for like the next 2 years every time I'm trying to fall asleep. So I wouldn't say it's a persona because it is me. It's just that like I feel more comfortable expressing that side of myself on stage, and I love the music so much. I love the music that we create and we play so much that like it's such a great time. Like I really have such a great time. I love performing. It makes me so happy to see the looks on people's faces when they're really enjoying the show, especially when like they're not expecting me to kind of like hop off stage and walk around the audience, and I do, and people are like, oh my God, like I love being that for people. I think it's so cool. And I love being able to create that kind of experience for someone. The same way that like I really enjoy making people laugh. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I love, creating an environment where people are having a good time and can enjoy themselves. So it's somewhat of a persona. It did not come naturally to me at all whatsoever. I still have a lot of stage fright to this day, but I have always struggled with stage fright. From Hannah R. What advice do you have for someone who's having trouble getting started writing their own music? That's a great question. Find influence, find inspiration. A good place to start would be make a playlist of music, 3 to 10 songs that you wish were yours, songs that you wish you wrote. look into those artists, read their lyrics. If you're looking for help writing lyrics, look at the structure of things. You know what you like, so figure out why you like it. A good songwriting tool, in my opinion, a lot of people prefer the good old pen and paper. I don't. I can't keep up with paper. I don't know where it is, what's going on. Voice memos. Anytime you have a creative idea, take a voice memo of it, back it up somewhere on Google Drive, and then when you feel like songwriting, go reference your voice memos, and then you have a place to start. It could be a general concept, like, man, I really want to write a song about blank. It could be a phrase. When I wrote Breathing Underwater, the phrase, "It ain't so hard when you're dead already," had been stuck in my brain for a long time, and I had it in a voice memo. And then when the person I was writing this song with back in the day in a band called Saints of Marfa, when they sent me the track that they sent me, I was like, yeah, this is the track for that. Just get familiar with the music that you love and develop a system for keeping track of your own creative ideas. You should not ever feel any type of way other than positively about collaborative experiences. If you look up any of your favorite songs, I bet you anything there are like at least 3 songwriters on it. Midnight Sky by Miley Cyrus, let's see how many songwriters. 4 songwriters and 2 producers. Understanding that as well, collaborating can be a really good way to develop your songwriting skills. Next question, Jamie C. What is your favorite movie of all time? And what is your favorite song of all time? Okay, my favorite movie of all time, I go back and forth. I think it's Spirited Away. It's a Studio Ghibli film. I grew up watching a lot of Studio Ghibli films, you know, My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, Kiki's Delivery Service, all of those. But I think by far my favorite one is Spirited Away. I could watch it over and over and over again, and I have. Everyone should see it. What's your favorite song of all time? I can't answer that. I don't have a favorite of all time. But right now, I'm listening to Bad Mama Jamma a lot. She's a bad mama jamma. Carl Carlton. Bad Mama Jamma, in parentheses, she's built, she's stacked. And the 80s, man. I love it. I went down a Carl Carlton rabbit hole. Anyway, I've been listening to Bad Mama Jamma like every morning, and it makes me feel like a baddie. And I also just realized the harmonies are the alternate title. She's built, she's stacked. Next question from Francesco. Do you plan to release a full album in the future? What are your interests, hobbies other than music? That one I feel like I already covered. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? He said, most importantly, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? I agree, that is the most important. Do I plan to release a full album in the future? I just feel like the world of music and music consumption has changed so much over the years. An album is a hard sell, and I prefer releasing things as singles and doing smaller releases because it allows me to focus on that song and give it everything it deserves. I would love to do an album in the future, but I would probably only consider that once I have more of an established career, number one, and or if a producer that I was really keen on working with approached me and wanted to do an album. Ever since Halsey worked with Trent and Atticus from 9 Inch Nails on If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power, I'm like, dude, if they were to approach me today and be like, I want to work with you, but only if we can create an album, yeah. Or Jacob Collier, yeah. Or James Blake, yeah. What are your other interests and hobbies other than music? Yeah, I feel like I already kind of covered that. Although I will say something that interests me that I would love to look into more is sound design. Sound design for experiences, for live shows, for movies, for television shows. I did some sound design with John Edward around the release of Starlight. We did a video series called the FaceTime Demon series, and we did sound design around that where we were like stripping parts of the song out and making the bass line sound like it was being played from a bodega across the street so we could insert it in the video. If you're interested in seeing that series, just check the description of this video because I actually remembered to put it in. It'll be called the Starlight FaceTime Demon Series Experience. It's a bunch of like FaceTime videos, and I take you on like a journey with me, and you kind of like become a character in it. But anyway, sound design really interests me. I would love to get into acting. I wish I was old enough and acting when the Scary Movie franchise movies were created. That specific genre of comedy is my exact sense of humor. Things like what did I watch last night? Like We're the Millers. I know it's silly and immature. I know it is, but it makes me laugh so hard. Or like the days when like Pineapple Express, Harold and Kumar, all that stuff. I would love to act in like just a comedy film like that because number one, I feel like it would be so funny and so fun to create. The community of people that I would be working with, I just feel like we would have such a great time. It would either have to be comedy or horror films. I don't think I could ever do like a drama or a love story or anything like that. I don't think I would be good at that. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Mint chocolate chip. Sometimes coffee. Mint chocolate chip. I'm gonna go with mint chocolate chip. Always a safe bet for me. Who do I think I sound like when I sing? From Dave. Dave of the UK. I don't know. I know who I am influenced by, so I can tell you that. And then you can tell me who you think I sound like. Napalm from Hiatus Coyote. Her vocals are incredible. Oh my God, she could literally hit me up any day, anytime and be like, let's collab. And I would be like, cool, I'm flying to Australia right now. Alanis Morissette. Christina Aguilera. Those like real hearty vocals. Halsey, I'm influenced by Halsey a lot. I don't think I sound like her though. Honestly, I'm blanking. I don't know. Who do you think I sound like? What's your favorite food? I don't really have one. I kind of do this thing where I'll fixate on a food that I like and I'll eat only that for a few months until I like hate it, and then I won't touch it for years, and then I'll come back to it later. Like I got really obsessed with avocado rolls, avocado sushi rolls. I ate that for like lunch and dinner every day for 3 months. Now I can't stand them. Actually, that's not true. I had one the other day and I was like, I remember why I liked this. Pizza is pretty much always a safe bet for me. I could have pizza almost basically any time. I do like sushi. I'm more keen on tacos nowadays. When my palate wasn't as developed and I was like just very picky about what I was eating, I didn't like tacos as much because I always used to have to like customize them. But nowadays I'll kind of eat whatever on a taco. What's your favorite drink? Alcoholic drink or non-alcoholic drink? Alcoholic drink, I don't drink very often these days, but I'm a beer person. Just a beer. Doesn't really matter what it is. Usually my go-to is like a Michelob Ultralight. Yeah, I know it's pretty boring. It used to be Bud Light though, so like, I mean, Michelob is objectively better, right? Non-alcoholic drink though, I am a big fan of iced coffee. I basically always have a drink with me. I don't know, I get like drink anxiety. Like I need a water, I need to have something with me. Next question from Bruno. How long did it take you to write Starlight? It was one of my favorite songs of 2020. Keep up the good work. It's very sweet of you, Bruno. I'm so happy to hear how much you liked the song enough to like write in about it. That really means a lot to me. The first draft of Starlight was created in, I want to say around 2015 or 2016. I was living out in A-Leaf at the time with my band called Bodhi. That was when I started my self-production journey, and I made a track in Ableton and I was like, I want to write something to this. I was in a not great relationship at the time. I wrote Starlight about two people that were kind of toxic in their own right, because I wasn't the best person either, enabling each other's toxic tendencies and toxic behaviors and bringing out the worst in each other. So the first draft of that was created in around like 2015 or 2016. And then in 2019, when I met John Edward, I sent him like 3 or 4 of my self-produced songs that were not done. Starlight was basically done, but it was like a ballad at the time almost. No, that's not true. That was Lethal Dose. Lethal Dose used to be a ballad. Starlight was very, it was just different. And I sent John Edward like 3 or 4 of my songs or demos that I had self-produced, and he picked Starlight to work on. So we reworked Starlight together. That took about 6 months to a year, and then it was released in 2020. But it kind of sat there doing nothing from like 2017 to 2018 for a couple years. We didn't replace all that many lyrics, so a lot of the original form is still there lyrically, not melodically. I created the base of the melody, or the foundation of it rather. Got some questions from Lene here. Guilty pleasure TV show, Bones. I love crime shows, Bones and Law and Order. What's your comfort movie? All right, this is an easy answer for me. The Iron Giant. What does the tattoo on your side say? God, this is embarrassing. Okay, for context, most of my tattoos I got when I was under 18. I know, let's not talk about it. I wish I didn't have them. But the one on my rib cage is the prayer from the Boondock Saints. Who are your musical influences? Okay, so Halsey, Thundercat, Hiatus Coyote, Jacob Collier, Leanne LaHavis, Erykah Badu, Haim, Phoenix, David Bowie, Prince, the 1975. I have a playlist of my influences. Michael Jackson, the Eurythmics, Tori Amos, James Blake, Tegan and Sara, Charlotte O.C., LP, Broods, Fantagram, Sky Ferreira, Churches, Sampha, St. Vincent. When writing a song, does the lyrics come first or the music? The lyrics, usually. Like I said, I don't have like a lot of education in music, so my stuff usually manifests in the form of lyrics. Zachary H., how would you feel about somebody covering your music? Would you be flattered or would it bug you? Oh my gosh, I would be so incredibly flattered. I mean, as long as they weren't trying to pass it off as their own, which I don't think is very common. I don't think people really do that. I would be so flattered, and I would ask for the video so that I could post it on my social media and shout them out. Yeah, if anybody ever does want to cover any of my music and you want like the chords or the tabs or the lyrics, let me know, sister or brother. I will give them to you, because I literally would cry tears of joy if somebody covered one of my songs and sent me a video of it. Best and worst moments while performing. Well, I already told you guys about my worst moment. Best moment, I loved playing at Warehouse Live. You know, Miller Outdoor Theater was simultaneously one of the worst and one of the best moments, because it was really cool to play there. Oh, I got to sing the national anthem for the Astros at Minute Maid Park back in 2018. The year after they won the World Series, it was their replica ring day. That was insane. There were like 30,000 people in the stands or something. I don't know, I might be exaggerating that number, but it was a lot of people and it was insane. I've always really enjoyed performing at White Oak. What motivates and drives you? My family and my team and my community. From Bud Stratford, what's your favorite part of being a musician? I love performing. I also love just the one-on-one interactions I get to have either at shows or in DMs, just connecting with other people. That's really special to me. From Corey, do you have any tours booked across the country yet? Not yet. From Hamilton, what's your favorite kind of frog? Maybe the frog that lives in my throat when I'm trying to track vocals. What's your favorite kind of sword? This one, the sword on my Lethal Dose dagger earrings that are in my merch store if you want some. Coke or Pepsi? Neither, but Coke. What's your dream collabs? Dream collabs. Halsey, Thundercat, Hiatus Coyote. From Alia, do you have any old journals from your childhood, teenhood filled with songs you wrote back then? Would you share them even if they're cringy? Yes, I do. If enough people comment and want it, I will share them. They are very cringy. Thank you so much for watching my first Q&A. If there are any questions that you want me to answer, comment them below. If you want to sign up for the email list, I will leave a general sign up in the description. I will also leave a sign up for the Starlight Story FaceTime series with the sound design. If you want to stay up to date on the more personal sides of my life, more day in the life type stuff, this is the channel that stuff will be going on. So hit subscribe and you can turn that bell icon on and it will notify you anytime I upload a new video. All right, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're having a peaceful day, and I hope that when you go to get in your car, your gas tank is just like full out of nowhere. The gas fairy came along and just blessed you. And or I hope like a random like $200 gets deposited into your account that you weren't expecting. Okay.